QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022 OneNote presentation. Create a new company file. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022. If you have access to OneNote, would like to follow along, icon left-hand side, topic introductions, 6040, create a new company file. Also take a look at the immersive reader tool, topic introductions, also in the text area, same name, same number, but with transcripts. Transcripts that can be translated into multiple languages, either listened to or read in them. We also have the same name and number as a presentation. The topic introductions designed to give an introduction to the topic, provide screenshots, links when applicable, give accounting background to complement the presentations. Can also use the screenshots to follow along with the presentations if you don't have access to the software at that time. Closing the icon on the left-hand side, going through the screenshots for a new company file. So you would be entering a new company file when you're starting basically a company file from scratch or moving from an older software that you used prior to this into the QuickBooks software, needing a new company file to start up at that point. We have the software on the left-hand side. We're going to be putting that into a data file as we create the new company file. So we're going to open up the software. We got the new company file. You could go to up top or create a new company down below. I like to do it with the file dropdown. You then got the setup process. You could do it for myself or for someone else as the two options. So if it's for yourself, you're going to be the admin. My email will be used to create the Intuit account, which Intuit may then know because you have an account with Intuit at that point in time. So it might be a little bit easier if it's for your account. For someone else, we're going to be doing that here because I'm hoping that will be making it easier to use the backup files related to them. So I'm creating a company file on behalf of the admin. And so we're going to put in our data entry. The ones with the little red asterisks are going to be the required fields. And we're going to be entering this data. Then we get down here towards the actual business type down here. And we got to choose the business type, which is important because that's going to give you the chart of accounts. If you don't want a chart of accounts and you start from scratch, you could just say none and then do your chart of accounts from scratch. But oftentimes people would be wise or it'd be useful to have a chart of accounts that would be set up and then try to use that as your baseline as you do the data entry as you start from scratch. We then take a look at the business type. So proprietorship, partnership, single member, LLC, multiple member LLC. We're going to be doing a sole proprietorship here in the type of entity. And then we're going to put some mock information in for the rest of it. Much of this not a required field. Note that the email address is required these days. And that in part is due to the fact that QuickBooks has that subscription model now. And so they need the email to kind of verify the subscription model for the software. And then we've got the EIN, which if your company file has that or your sole proprietorship may have it as well. Even if you don't have employees, it's a useful item to put in place too. And then we've got the phone, which might be in the contact information, and business address, which might be useful to then populate forms such as invoices that might be needed to go into clients, and that information could be necessary there. So then we're going to go to the lists drop down, look at the chart of accounts. Here's the chart of accounts that had been created from us just basically picking an industry, which I believe was just a general kind of shop type of industry, so that we would have cost of goods sold types of accounts as well as inventory accounts that we're going to be using so we can practice with inventory in our practice problem. Notice if you close the company file and hover over, this is one way that you could see where they located the company file on your computer. You want to know where it is on your computer. So oftentimes they don't tell you where they're going to put it. They just kind of put it where it went last time. And if it's the first time you've ever set up a company file, they might just put it in, kind of bury it into this Intuit folder, which you wouldn't know about unless you actually went in there and found it. And oftentimes people don't do that because whenever you open the company file, it opens right to it because that was the last file that you had open. But sometimes this screen wouldn't always be there, and so you want to know where the file is on your computer and make sure it's in a place where you can locate it, even if it didn't just open up automatically, or if you didn't have this window opening up as you start your company file.